you have to be an MD. But they knew of a nutrition doctor, an MD, who was an MD, and she was very good. I said, okay, I'll go to her. Told her what was going on and what I was eating, and I'd already talked, just a myriad of things are coming up here now. I had already talked to somebody in Florida in a metaphysical shop because I had I went online to find somebody who had worked with themselves with lymphoma or some kind of cancer and did it all naturally, and da-da-da. So I called her, and the first thing she said to me, "What are you eating?" And I said, I'm eating fish and chicken and vegetables, and I know to go green. I didn't know that. I know to juice, so I'm juicing and all the green stuff, the carrot juice, the celery juice, all those kinds of things together. And she said, "Are you eating fruit?" I said, "Yeah." "Get off the fruit, that sugar. You're going to feed your cells. You're going to feed those. They eat off of glucose, and then they take the oxygen away from your red cells, and you've got to get your pH in balance." And so she told me those three things, and then I started, again, doing that. So when I got to the nutrition doctor, I had gone off, I wasn't eating eggs at that point. I was eating a little bit of salmon once a week. And she said, "What I want you to do," and I told her what I was eating and vegetables and doing all this stuff. And she says, "I want you to go on a macrobiotic diet, but eliminate all animal fats. Meat and dairy." That meant eggs, everything, cheese. And here I've been on goat milk, because that's the pH. Goat's milk is not acid, but cow's milk is. Now, I could talk all day on pH and what is and isn't. I was eating goat cheese, but I couldn't because there's animal fat in it. Okay, let's just, here, give them all that stuff to my kids. Goat cheese, Mom? I don't think so. Anyway, so I said, okay, go off everything. I said, "What about the salmon?" "What did I tell you?" And I said, "You mean if it has eyes or a face, I'm not to eat or drink of it at all?" And she said, "For at least 4 months. It's okay. And she said, "You might want to go to Miko Kushi's place up in Boston and go there and learn how to cook it." I said, "I haven't got any money to go up there." I said, just give me a book. Apricot kernels is Laetrile. That's what they took that's what they took Laetrile from, was the apricot kernels. And then they outlawed Laetrile because it was working. And they all went to Mexico. Well, you can get apricot kernels, and you just have to watch. I read the book from the guy in Washington Courthouse, Ohio, who was the doctor who did all of the experimenting with the Laetrile early on, and the book, and you've got to see the library. I've got to show you the library. But anyway, I read his book, and I've got it as a reference. And he was one of the doctors that went before the Congress to yay the fact that Laetrile was working, and had people parade, and there's people living 18 years later who took Laetrile who had lymphoma or breast cancer or stuff. I know when I'm not in balance, and then I test it. I have the pH balance little strip, the litmus strips in the little circle thing, the Phion brand. I have several, and every time I go to the bathroom, I test it. In the morning, sometimes I'm even at 8 in the morning, which is really strange because you're supposed to not have any. It's supposed to be more acid, which means either I'm really eating too late last night, taking that carrot juice or something. I want something to drink. Okay, get some juice. And then some mornings I wake up and it's like 6.5 or 6, which is where it should be basically, because when you are in balance, pH balance, you're resting and you're fasting, so to speak, when you're sleeping. And you are healing. That when you're affected big C cells or any dead cells, and especially the acid cancer cells are being destroyed, they come through your urine in the morning make it very, very acid. And the more I read and the more I look at and the more I see, I've always been a conspiratorial thought processor and a skeptic of government anyway, or big, why are they doing that? And conspiracies are good and or bad. I'm on a festival committee for Mount Orb. The conspiracy there is to get together and have a festival. That's a good conspiracy. However, when it comes to my health, and all the doctors say the same thing, and all the doctors are giving samples of drugs that they don't even know any more about than the guy coming through the door from the pharmaceutical company saying, give this as a sample, and you get some kind of kickback, maybe, whatever. You just give it and it does this, and they give them out. Somebody is the drug supplier, and somebody is the drug dealer. And they are all, and I look at them as legal drug dealers. They're legally doing drugs. The drugstores at Kroger's, they're legal drug dealers. Don't get me wrong, I'll take a Tylenol for when I have to, if I can't find something with me while I'm out on the road and I've got an ache or pain, and okay, I think a Tylenol will kind of settle me down a little bit. But don't ever give me erythromycin again. Don't ever put anything or did anything in my mouth. However, the only other thing is you've got to read the labels. If you can't pronounce the labels on your food that's boxed, canned, or frozen, or something that's got additives to it, you shouldn't be putting it in your mouth. Why do they take out stuff in flour then enrich it with synthetics? How is that affecting your digestive system? Well, white tongue. Check your white tongue, people. There's another thing that might be of interest. I don't have any insurance. No insurance except on my car. I didn't then. I do now. I have an ER. I have what I call the emergency room in case I get a broken arm, and then I got a card I can give to the ER. And I only got that 2 months ago. So, so I said, okay, now I'm doing better. What happens? I don't want to. Because if I do have insurance, what's going to tell me what I have to do for this diagnosis? Why pay $340 or whatever it would be, even with AARP, with catastrophic? I can't get catastrophic now anyway because I've already been diagnosed with something that they're not going to, cover. So what the heck, I don't need it. So I've been doing this. Okay, God. This last spring, I took some classes at Tampa College, Junior College, Hillsborough Junior College in Tampa, called Alternative 1 and 2. I went to the classes only to make sure, and it was all about alternative medicine. And I went to that class, just wanted to verify whether I knew where I was going or not, or was I, because I was always talking about what I was doing. People were asking me, how are you doing at this? Well, who are you? How do you know all this stuff? I do a lot of research. Well, you're just somebody out here. How do you know you're going to help somebody else with the same thing? I said, it works for me. I'm going to tell somebody if they ask me, it might work for you. Try it, you might like it. So I had those classes, and the first 4 classes, I didn't take notes. I knew everything they were telling me. And so the rest of them, there were 12 lessons and so forth, 12 classes, 12 weeks. So then I started taking notes because there was cell morphology and all of that kind of thing. There was a lot of good technical stuff I really kind of needed. So now I R1. A certified natural health professional. So I am now, starting September 30th, I will be holding classes, 5 classes, a series of 5 classes, one each week, at a little place in town that has yoga classes there, belly dancing, 2 massage therapists are in this building. And I said, oh my gosh, God's impeccable timing again.